My name is Jaeson Brown, and I am co-founder and partner of Route 4. Route 4 Creative is a metric-driven solutions company. We try to understand your goals and what you're trying to get to. We build solutions around those goals using data as our foundation. We saw a real need in the marketplace, particularly in this region and this area being Metro Detroit, for young design companies, people that saw the world a little different. You have to look at things different to understand the possibilities, to understand the potential.
TriMas Manufacturing was established in 1919 by my grandfather. Today we have two companies, TriMas Manufacturing and TriMas Fabrication, providing metal stampings, value-added assemblies, sheet metal fabrication, and welded assemblies. When I decided to own the company was during the recession. It was 2009, and everything just kind of dropped out of the bottom of the company. It just spurred something in me and said, if I can do this when it's tough, I can do it when things are going well. Owning a company is understanding your communication methods and how I engage other people. You can tell people what to do and they might do it for you, or you can lead people to make good decisions, and then in turn they will lead others to make good decisions.
My name is Royster, and I'm a CEO for AskSupportNow. AskSupportNow is an IT-based cloud management system that offers managed services and consultation for the small and mid-sized businesses. You get enterprise-level support for a fraction of the cost. Where I see us going is being the IT cloud-based solution for the Metro Detroit area, and in time I see us expanding across the United States.
My name is Vaughn, CEO and co-founder of Varsity News Network. Varsity News Network. It's kind of like ESPN.com for high schools. The network that we're building across the country is a network to connect everybody around their kids and their activities. What our product does is it systematizes the content production process so that the athletic director can have a collegiate level sports information website without doing any work. We really got going in about March of 2012. We've gone from 6 schools beta testing our product to almost 600 schools now across 29 states. We have an opportunity to change what it means to be a high school athlete, and that's a pretty cool thing. When you have an opportunity like that, I'm willing to do anything that it takes to capture that.
Please welcome to the stage our moderator, Sam Valenti, Chairman, TriMas Corporation, and our panelists, Jaeson Brown, partner and co-founder, Route 4, Amy Pruce, Chief Executive Officer, TriMas Manufacturing, Brian Royster, founder and CEO, AskSupportNow, and Ryan Vaughn, co-founder and CEO, Varsity News Network.
If you were going to do the perfect business conference, you would have somebody like the Business Leaders from Michigan do it. It's an amazing organization. My company, TriMas, is part of it. 80 businesses, serious people, big employers, 27% of the GDP in the state of Michigan, run by the remarkable Doug Rothwell, who you should applaud. He has told me that as a going away prize, everyone gets a car. So you get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car. Just check with Doug at the end if he's still here. And Sabrina, who runs this place with an iron fist. I want you to give it up for Sabrina. What would you do? What would you do if you had a conference? What if you had only so many hours in the day and you wanted to beat the traffic and you wanted to get the hell out of here early, but you wanted to know what was going on? You do exactly what Doug did. You get some heavyweights, you get some big boys, you get some legends, 100 years worth of business, and you have them talk about what it takes to last a century through all that turmoil. And you talk about the stuff that Doug did so brilliantly. You talk about where we rank, and are we moving, and are you part of something special? And you want to hear a little bit about how the legends did their business. How did they start? How did they get going? But you'd also want some takeaway value. You'd want to be able to feel like you had something that really mattered to you. So what you do is you hear a lot about venture capital, you hear about entrepreneurship. those words roll off your tongue in a lot of cocktail party conversation or business lunches. And you have people saying, yeah, we need more jobs, we need more young people, we need more businesses, we need ideas, innovation. We've got all kinds of ideas in venture capital. Business Leaders for Michigan does a venture capital that's run by the incredible Chris Ryzik, Renaissance Venture Capital, the #1 fund of funds venture capital fund in the entire country, sponsored by Business Leaders for Michigan. But what you would do is what you're about to do in 5 seconds. You'd come into my living room, you'd get 3 studs and 1 serious studette from Grand Rapids. And you'd sit them down, you'd make me very aware you couldn't linger, but damn, I want to know what's going on. What's it take? I got the 100 years, I got the bigs, I got the billions, I got the history makers, I'm wearing the shoes, you know, I'm talking to people at the conference. And as an aside, one of the things you got to do is, those of you who don't come to a lot of these, or those of you who are veterans, please go up, stick out your hand, meet some people, expand your network. That's what we're here for. The only advice I give you is please don't roll up on Florine with the brownie in your hand. Don't make her slap you. It's going to get ugly. You don't want to do that. So let's go back. Let's spend a little bit of time with 4 people who are doing what theoretically we hope for, who have accomplished. These aren't business plans. These are players. People that really, truly have gotten out there and are still out there. So we want to pay attention. We want to get inside what they're doing. We want to walk away from this with the biggest and the oldest and the richest and the most famous, but also the newest and the most energized, most exciting. For those of you that are young, let's listen and see how hard it really is. For those of you in the middle, let's find out, how do I invest in stuff like this? And those of you who are old, let's go back in time with a time machine and remember what it was like before you were rich and famous and hiding from Florine. And what was it like to have that whole future ahead of you? This, to me, is the coolest panel on this whole thing. I thank Doug for that. Let's get it on. Ryan, why are you doing what you're doing?
You know, I've played sports my whole life, right? And I remember basketball was my love, and single-parent home, lived with my mom. And the pinnacle of my athletic career was senior year varsity basketball. We won the district championship. I went to Grand Haven High School. For those of you who follow high school sports, that is an immense accomplishment that never happens, right? And so where we win the game, the final buzzer sounds, and I see my mom just rushing the court. She's so excited. This little 5'4" lady, 105 pounds or something like that, just runs up, just jumps in my arms. Really, really cool moment for us. The culmination of an awful lot of nights in the driveway. So the next day, right, I wake up, I run to the mailbox to see what the newspaper wrote about the biggest game in history. And as it turns out, the entire front page of the paper was a big picture of me hugging my mom on the basketball court, which as a 17-year-old is incredibly embarrassing. But my mom, of course, goes nuts, right? She's so excited, she cuts it out, she laminates it, frames it, and to this day, it sits on a table in our living room. And it's remarkable. Every time I come back to my mom's house, we end up walking by that table, and we're right back in that moment. And we start talking about everything that basketball meant to our family, right? So when we first started VNN, I had gotten back into the sports scene and had realized that that sort of coverage and that sort of recognition for athletes was pretty much nowhere to be found, as mainstream media had less and less resources to cover it. And unless you're a football player, they'd still do okay. But if you're a golfer, if you're a swimmer, if you're any of those types of sports, there's really no recognition for you, and the connections between family and friends are just missing. So that's what VNN was intended to do.
Fantastic. We'll get back to the minute. Amy, you worked your way up the hard way.
I did.
Talk to me about casket handles.
Well, Prus Manufacturing was established in 1919, so I'm one of the really old ones sitting on this panel, I think. Been in business for 95 years, and we started out manufacturing cookie die stamps and casket hardware. It's not where we are today.
No.
No.
Tell us where you are today.
Today, we, in the 80s, we became a commodity metal stamper. The company evolved through the leadership of my grandfather and my aunts and uncles and my father.
Today, Prus Manufacturing, we really focus on being a strategic partner with our customers, and we found that our customers are missing engineering services. So our primary focus is providing those engineering services and then the manufacturing processes to support those services. So we do things such as metal stamping, sheet metal fabrication, and welded assemblies. And we continue to drive the business, focusing on those skills and just continue to develop those relationships with our customers to be the best supplier we can be.
No, would you consider it still a family business?
We have the same values of a family-operated business. I am the third-generation owner. I do have a fourth-generation cousin who is our materials manager. He's been there for about 10 years. So we still incorporate a lot of the cultures and values of a family-run organization. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Jason?
Well,
Jason, let's just brag on you for a minute. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good.
Good. Let's talk about Route 4.
Well, Route 4 is a metric-driven solutions company, and what we do is we try to create solutions for businesses around digital marketing, web development, digital design, mobile app design, and really tie tangible results to those solutions.
Okay. Now, you know that 1/3 of this audience got all that. And you know that 1/3 went, say what? So take the very first part of that. What did you do to help one of these people and their firms? What's your ideal client?
We help companies grow through web marketing, social media, and we do that by doing web development and web design. And our ideal customer are small businesses, medium-sized businesses that are trying to establish a footprint through digital in the marketplace.
Fantastic. We'll come back in a minute. Okay, Brian, you might as well brag on it. What do you got?
well, I've been in business since I was 18 years old. For those who are wondering, I'm 28 now. By my early 20s, I had my first business. I sold refurbished computers. I had my own store in Madison Heights. And in 2008, the business closed down because of the market. No one was giving away their computers anymore. So what I did was I went into AskSupportNow, which started off as a help desk, but kind of transformed into a managed service platform. Managed services is basically IT support from the cloud, being able to do network security, be able to fix computer issues, all from 24/7 with unlimited help desk support and so forth.
So let's go back around again. Let's talk about the number of people that you have currently helping you.
Sure. So it was myself and my co-founder when we first started. His name's Matt Anderson. We started the business in 2010, went through a trough of sorrow, as we called it, through 2010 and into 2011, where there just wasn't much going on and we were trying to figure out what the heck we were doing. And then finally, we listened to the market, as was said on the previous panels, and ended up developing something that was very valuable and that we could sell, which was fantastic. And since March of 2012, which is when we really got going, we grew from those 2 people to now we have 65 people working with us, spread across about 25 states, and we have schools that we work with. We do their official athletic platform that connects all of the individual members of the community to one spot. And we do that across and with schools across 33 states.
It's incredible. We'll get back to specifics. Brian, how many folks are helping you right now?
Well, amazingly, when I was presenting my product to one of my customers, they actually decided to bring me on board. So as of October of this year, I left my day-to-day 8-to-5 job and joined in a strategic alliance to be able to promote my business. So now I have the help of this team that is helping me with marketing. They're helping me with training, mentoring, everything. So there is no reason at this point for me to be unsuccessful.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We're not doing that 8-to-5 anymore, though, are we? No, I didn't think so. Amy, how many folks?
Well, when I started with the company in 1987, we had about 15 employees, and we grew up to about the 70 employee mark, and then when the recession hit, we actually dropped back down to 33 employees. And I personally laid off every one of those employees, letting them know what the future of the company looked like and what I saw their future. Thankfully, we have rebounded, and we are currently at 109 employees.
And of the 190, how many are family members?
109. Myself and my cousin. That's it.
Good. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And how many folks are helping you, Jaeson?
So there's 4 at Route 4, given the 4 in Route 4. We grew to 5, and then we recently had to regress back to 4, as one of our partners had to take a leave of absence.
Now, what's the hardest thing right now? And we'll just go down the line on a consistent basis. The hardest thing to grow is it people, capital, people listening to when you knock on the door. I mean, ESPN's got to be quaking in their boots, so they know you're coming.
Yeah.
So, what is stopping you from the rest of the states out there?
I think I don't think there's anything that's stopping us from taking over the rest of the states. We're in a great position across the typical things that become problematic sometimes, such as capital, talent attraction. I feel like we have a fantastic team and really raring to go. One of the transitions that we're having to go through now, which is certainly a learning experience for a lot of people, is growing from a small, scrappy startup, which is really characterized, at least in our business, by, we have smart people, we'll figure it out, just go, right? To a more mature business that has the right processes and efficiencies in place to be able to deliver what we do at scale. That's been a lot of our focus recently.
Okay.
And certainly, as the company is changing and evolving, and there's turbulence, but as long as the key indicators and the sales are going in the right direction, we're happy.
It's fantastic.
For me, I agree. I don't believe that capital is the issue, because I'm a firm believer, although I've never received any. Well, yes, I have. I'm a firm believer that if you have something worth investing in, people will invest. And if not, then maybe you need to look at your product a little bit closer, because I believe that the key to success is being intellectually honest, knowing what your product is and making sure your customers, they're looking for that product and they're hungry enough for it to be able to pay for those services.
So your feeling right now is that what you need to do, this strategic alliance has helped you get the next layer of training and contacts that you need. So that's been a big help. Amy, from your standpoint, you still work in a world that a lot of people in this room are familiar with, it's tangential to. Is being in Grand Rapids a disadvantage? Is it an advantage? In other words, a lot of your customers are in various places, so has that location been helpful to you?
Grand Rapids is a great place. We've been there for the last 95 years, and we focus very heavily on the community and the close relationships with our customers. Mm-hmm. So actually, most of our customers are within 60 miles.
Okay.
So some of my biggest challenges in the last few years as I've taken over the company is really that generational change from the father ran the business, he was that sole relationship. I'm changing the dynamics of the company to say that there's more relationships throughout the company and changing that culture.
Yes.
A culture that's creating teamwork, collaboration, and continuous improvement. So it's this whole change in the whole business model mm-hmm. and how we can serve our customers better. And then talent. Talent is a big struggle for us. We have a lot of skilled labor, mm-hmm. the welding, the press brake operators, and things like that. And we're being very creative in the methods of finding that talent. We are doing a lot of building from within. We partner with local organizations, giving people with some barriers to work, give them the opportunity to have a second chance and to work within our organization. And then we provide them with training. We'll do training in-house. We will send them to outside facilities and really just help that community grow and prosper. As we've been there for so long, we feel there's so many reasons to give back, and we feel that aligns well with our customers' visions and needs, and at the end, it's gonna help everybody.
Well, congratulations. If you look at what Amy's background has entailed, this is a very highly decorated, award-winning company on many levels, and you individually, and congratulations to that.
Thank you.
Now, you and I got to get Route 4 big, now, right now. What do we got to do? So, what can I do to help you? What can we do to get this to the next layer of growth?
Yeah, our biggest challenge right now is just definitely knocking on the doors and having people understand about what we talk about. We found a nice product fit within the startup community, not only in just Detroit, but just Metro Detroit, Ann Arbor, Grand Rapids, as well as the Midwest region. And it's really getting people and companies to understand the uniqueness that design has to their overall product and their overall brand, and how that can help, grow sales. So we continue to kind of, refine our pitch, help businesses to understand why is that so important. We look at the companies on the East Coast and West Coast, and they use design as a key differentiator in their product, and we are trying to help bring that to the Midwest.
This audience, in essence, are potential customers. Not in theory, but in reality. I don't know about you, only because you already have a natural rhythm where you need to go. But is there anyone, if you had the Rolodex that included this entire audience, and I could guarantee you had access to them, is there anybody in this audience that would be helpful to what you're trying to do?
I believe, yeah.
Well, we're going to go back to Ryan.
Sure. So I think for us as a company, I think what we need is access across the country to a lot of individual communities and a lot of individual schools. We found that 70% of America is in some way tied to a K through 12 community, and as we develop inroads within all those communities and network them together, there's going to be a lot of people that will be involved with that, and certainly people that own businesses, people within this audience presumably have many ties within those communities. So from a business perspective, certainly I think that's the direction that we're headed. But what I'm really excited about, and I've had a couple conversations with members of the audience as well out in the lobby, is this is the first business that I've grown to this size.
Yes.
And as we look to hopefully reach the level that the previous panelists are at, certainly we have a lot of learning to do. And so I'm excited to continue conversations and continue my personal learning process as well.
Good. That's a good answer. I'm getting the high sign here. In other words, Sabrina is flashing signs, but she also has a taser because she knows I'm not gonna leave this stage voluntarily. So I want to give each of you a minute to talk to the people in the room. Is there anything in this room that you need? Is there anything in the room that you want? Whether it's customers, access to someone's Rolodex, access to businesses. Because I know where these people live. I know, seriously, I know. That's my background. I know where they live. So what can we do as a group, not just listen to you, what can we do as a group to help you right now?
Okay, well, as a group, actually the key is listen to me, because all I need is to sit down and have a conversation. Let me talk to you. And I'll be able to, once you see the value in managed services, it'll be a no-brainer. I guarantee it.
I like that. That's nice. Amy?
Help me find those partnerships. Help me find those customers that don't need just parts, that really are looking for a partnership that's going to help our company grow, that can help your company grow. And, there's so much more value than just creating parts. So that's what we're looking for.
And Route 4?
I would probably echo Brian and just listen as we try to continue to carve out this niche, looking at what design plays to your company, how it can help enhance your company from the digital side to the print side.
So here's how we're going to finish this up. I'm going to give you my email address when we're done. Then you're going to get from Sabrina, who's in this audience. The people that don't return or answer anything that you ask them, you email me. I was born in this city and I'm Sicilian, and we'll settle this real quick. We'll settle this real quick. I want to get a big round of applause to these people. Thank you. Thank you very much.